This is DDS. From the DDS studios, we are your hosts, Blake Milton, Bradley Newberry, Matthew Parker. Well, he's dealing with some personal stuff. Newberry, we got a pretty good lineup to talk about today.
A lot better games in both college and the NFL. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to listen to us ramble on about stuff. We'll give you our college picks, our NFL picks, but from the DDS crew, our thoughts and condolences out there with everything going on in the weather.
Absolutely.
That's what's got Parker out of hand a little bit. Everyone down in Florida, what a mess.
Yep, going to check on his affairs down there in Florida. We definitely respect him for that and give him as much time as he needs on that, and we ask that you keep him in your thoughts. And while we got your attention, go ahead down below, help us out here. Quick, free, easy. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button for us. We know that over 50% of you guys, actually over 60% of you that view these videos are not subscribed. So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button down there on YouTube. Give us a rumble on Rumble. Check us out on all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Didn't know if I was going to be able to do that today. And you can download all the audio versions of these podcasts on your favorite podcasting platform. Newberry, we're going to talk about a little something else first, aren't we?
Yeah, a little something that's been burning on my mind.
Yep.
And actually the minds, I should say, of the NFL and the NFLPA.
Rightfully so.
We're going to be talking about Talkin Tua.
Yeah, we are.
And it's not because of just what happened on last night's game on Thursday Night Football, presented to us by Amazon Prime.
Absolutely.
But we're going back to the Buffalo game. And it was hard-hitting game the entire way. But when you have your starting quarterback go down and go out the way he did.
Yeah, looking bad coming off the field. Like, can't stand up. That's not a good look. And usually that means one thing, usually.
Almost immediately was back in the game, which has brought the questions and the investigation by the NFL and NFLPA. I mean, my understanding is that it's independent. Doctors and neurologists on the sideline. So it doesn't have like a Dolphins emblem on them.
They say that. And I really hope that they actually do follow the independent protocol and they actually are objective whenever they look at this. But something tells me that either somebody missed something, somebody didn't. I wouldn't ever want to assume impropriety, but this is my thing. Concussions in back-to-back games, those are career enders. I mean, that's Troy Aikman stuff from back in the day, getting absolutely clobbered and not remembering 36 hours of his life kind of stuff. I mean, that's unacceptable if that's the case.
With your expertise in the medical field, for all of us that saw the visual last night of when he hit the ground and his fingers and everything lock up.
Yeah.
What is
that is a neurological thing that happened. That is your brain saying something is happening to your nervous system. So that tells me that this was probably carryover, in my opinion, not my personal opinion. Obviously, I'm not Tua's doctor or anything like that. But that tells me there's something serious going on. I hate to say it, but Tua might miss multiple weeks with this. And like I said, if it happens to be found out that there was a concussion last week that was overlooked or swept to the side or whatever, heaven help the Dolphins.
But wouldn't it be just as bad if it wasn't a concussion last week, but still maybe it was something with the spine? I mean, it's just as bad.
Now you're talking about head and neck.
If it's just as bad if you're turning your head the other way and like, you can go play. Just maybe he won't land on his back this week.
Yeah, but I mean, the way that it appeared, it just seemed like there's probably back-to-back weeks of concussions, if I had to guess. I can't begin to tell you how frustrating that would have to be. I know that players want to go back in. We all get there. We've all been there. Anybody who's played a sport,
I want to play.
Coach, put me back in. I'm fine.
Absolutely.
I'm fine. He's not fine. He's not. And particularly if he has neck stuff now he's going to have to go through other evaluations. I don't know what's their backup situation.
It's Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, which I mean,
he didn't look bad. Bad.
I mean, this is the thing. That's beside the point. Everybody,
Correct.
The most important thing is Tua and how he's doing. And I think the NFLPA and the NFL, they've got to figure out, was this for real? Something what were the protocols followed to the T? Who did it? All that. We got to figure out make sure that these protocols were followed, because if they were followed, did they miss something? Does something need to be adjusted? Because the last thing you want is, forget about your football career. You don't want to be affecting somebody's life.
Right.
I mean, if we're missing something along the way with this concussion protocol, then it needs to be fixed now. So, I mean, that's my opinion. Because the thing is, I don't want to accuse the Dolphins organizations of anything, but that holds them really liable if they had something to do with it.
We're all hoping not. We're all hoping that they're telling the truth here. Got the correct advice of the independent doctors that don't have the Dolphins logos on their chest plates, but it's unfortunate. It's a bad look, and hope nothing but the best for the Dolphins. I believe I did read and hear that he was able to travel back home with the Dolphins team last night, being released after the game.
Mm-hmm.
So what we saw Teddy Bridgewater clearly was prepared and ready.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to him. I mean, you couldn't have predicted this, but
I mean, you hope not.
No,
that's a bad look too. If they had him taking extra reps, did that mean something?
I'm sure he was taking the bulk of the reps. I mean, a lot of the Dolphins were did not practice leading up to the short week and a Thursday night football.
That's a very good point.
He looked pretty good. The game ended with a pick. And speaking of picks, we're going to go to our college pick six. It's going to be our college pick 4 this week.
Yeah, well,
because of the balls are off.
Yep.
Technically, the Gators are off. There's no line in that game, so we're not even going to talk about it.
Yep.
We're going to go to our B1G matchup first. That matches up Michigan as an 11-point favorite at Iowa. They're on the road. We had Iowa kind of in the same spot last year as a home underdog, and last year Iowa won straight up.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, there's whatever mystique is around this Iowa team. It just seems it follows them wherever they go. It's incredible. I don't like it. I don't like Michigan either, quite frankly. 11 points.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's an Iowa. That's an Iowa team that doesn't like to give up points. And honestly, I think it's a Michigan team that has been fairly untested, in my opinion.
So you're going low scoring?
I am. I'm saying this. I'm taking Iowa in the points, and I'm going under on that freaking over under 54. You kidding me?
I feel you. I got for all those that wanted to hear, Parker's picks are here. Michigan, Iowa. Both of these teams are going to run, which leads to the game being shorter.
Yep.
Less scoring. Chew the clock. He says it's simply too many points for how slow this game could be, how fast the clock could be. He says reluctantly, give me the corn. Iowa plus 11.
Yep. I think that's the way to go.
My pick is going to be, I wrote, Iowa's defense is only allowing about 5 points per game.
I mean, what can you say about that?
But they've got no offense. I'm going Michigan 14-2, and they cover by 1 point.
14-2.
They win by 12. I'm going Michigan.
Okay. I mean, that's a little more realistic, I think, than this 54 that they got written down here.
Yeah, very low scoring game. Our next game is our ACC matchup of the week.
Oh, 42. I'm reading the wrong line. Sorry. The over-under was 42. That's still too high.
That's too
That's
high.
too high.
ACC matchup of the week. 2 4-0 teams here.
Yep.
We talked about this in our AFC preview shows.
Yeah, we did. We spent a lot of time on this on our AFC preview show.
And now here they are, 4-0 North Carolina State at 4-0 Clemson. Clemson's coming off a game they were scared to death.
Yes, they were.
I had old Sam Hartman and Wake last week. They covered the spread, but man, what an overtime matchup there.
High scoring. What was there, like 100 points between the two of them?
It seemed like it.
Yeah, I think it was. It's like 54-53 or something, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Like it.
It was a lot.
I wrote down, hey, let's not forget NC State won this game last year.
Yeah, they did.
And you called
Dark Horse. Dark Horse.
Daddy might have a feeling over here.
I mean, so this is one of those games where it's like, my brain wants to pick Clemson, but my heart wants to pick NC State. I always like me a good dark horse. That sounded terrible. Didn't mean it that way. But I think that after we did a little show prep before we came on here, I think that we may have overestimated that Clemson defense a little bit. Because I think we all thought they were kind of world beaters.
It's not like they've played the world. They played Cupcakes and they played Wake.
Well, yeah. and so they should be world beaters in the world that they play in.
They're not. Parker even mentions it a little bit in his write-up. I'll go ahead and give you his pick, and then we can go right back to that defensive thing you got. Parker says, dare I say I was wrong about the Clemson defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the class I thought they were. He believes that Clemson's home winning streak is over. He said, give me NC State and the straight up win this week.
Wow.
Show us some more about this defense.
So if you look here on these defensive numbers, this defense that I have referred to all year as that defense. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. They're okay. They're good. But these are not the numbers that you would expect from a highly touted, highly talented top, containing multiple top draft picks through 4 games. Well, they got the defensive line has 6. I think we decided 6 sacks,
total sacks,
and 8 total sacks. And let's see if I can go up to the top here. And their defense up to now ranked 13th.
Oh, you need to go down. They're 54th.
Whoops, sorry, excuse me.
Even worse.
That was the offense, which is the other surprising
54th.
part. 54th, excuse me. Thank you for that. 54th. That's lackluster for a defense that I thought would have been like top 2, top 3.
Never come out of the top 10 for
No,
sure.
never. With a strength of schedule that's pretty low. 106 out of 131. I mean, what's been more surprising is you go to the offense.
Oh, don't talk about DJ.
Good
Lord, look at DJ.
DJ's doing okay, though. He's doing all right. He's not hurting them. He's not.
He didn't look good against Georgia Tech in week 1.
I'll say this. He doesn't look very special. He looks very, what is the word I like to use?
Does he look like David Garrard?
He looks pedestrian. He's rushed some. I mean, he's had some decent rushes.
I'll tell you, Will Shipley, little comeback player right here. He's balling right now.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, this is that defense is not the defense I thought it was. In our preseason show, I predicted Clemson winning this game.
Mm.
I had both of these teams going 11-1. I had Clemson winning the tiebreaker. And I'm here today to change my vote. I'm going NC State. Not only are they covering, they're going to win the game.
Okay. I got reminder that NC State won the game last year. That was in NC State. Clemson has won 36 straight home games. Parker says that's coming to an end. Doing some research, and Clemson, in playing these games after hurricanes, they seem to be very low scoring. I saw 17-6, 10-6, 17-14, 17-13.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be the under. It might not be raining at game time, but it could be sloppy conditions.
They've got the over-under. This was the 54 that I was talking about. They got the over-under at 54.
Yeah, it might be too high.
I think it's way too high. I'm thinking in that 40 range, 42 range.
Just because we do this against the spread, I'm definitely taking NC State +7. I don't even know if I want to pick a winner.
Yeah, let me just say, it's going to be a
7.
really close game. I think this is going to be a great game to watch right here. If you want to watch a good game this weekend, this is the one to watch, in my opinion.
I mean, if you like close games, if you like offense back and forth, you won't like it.
Yeah.
But if you like a close game where that one play could make the entire difference, those are the kind of games I like. It'll be suspenseful.
Yeah, and I mean, this game has a lot of meaning for these two teams.
No doubt.
A lot of meaning. I mean, this is basically who's going to win this division.
Best bet time, where we can pick anything we want because we said so.
Yep.
Let's see what Parker's got. He says, I was thinking about saying UTSA, the Roadrunners, to beat MTSU by more than 4.5, but it's a Friday night, so I don't want to do that. Instead, give me Troy +5 versus Western Michigan. Western hasn't seen the defense like this. Western has played middle school defenses to this point. It feels like a field goal game either way. Troy +5 is his best bet.
All right.
He always picks the random games.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep on picking on Georgia Tech here. Pitt is going to go, or Georgia Tech is coming to Pitt, and they are going to get absolutely trounced. Right now, the line is -20 and 21.5.
Oh, Georgia Tech.
And they are going to get absolutely fleeced. So I'm going Pitt -21.5.
I'm going to Florida. Give a little Florida love, but not the University of Florida Gators after losing to the UT Balls last week.
Oops.
I'm going to go to Orlando. I'm looking at a game that has been moved to Sunday because of the hurricane.
Yep.
I'm looking at a UCF pass defense that is overall number 11. And they're up against SMU. Quarterback Mordecai and the Mustangs. They'd love to do nothing more but pass the whole time. I'm feeling turnovers here. I'm going with the home team. Give me UCF -3.
Okay.
A little victory for Florida when they need something to cheer about after this week.
They really do. It's been a rough week.
Underdog time, where we try to identify a team that is not supposed to win but will win outright. Blake and I, we've identified the same one. You want to tell them what we're thinking here? I'm just a Sam Hartman fan. I like the story.
So Sam Hartman, man, what a kid. But this is a game this is a close game right here. You got 22 Wake Forest at Florida State. And right now Florida State's favored by a touchdown, 6.5.
6.5 or 7.
Yeah. This is going to be a good game to watch too right here. Florida State has been coming out surprisingly, I think, for most of us, pretty hot, particularly after the win at LSU. They kind of just been cruising right along. But Sam Hartman, do they have a little bit of the old red ass after that Clemson game? Do they have a little fire under their seat?
They could.
That's what I'm looking at, and I think that they do. I've got them taking this game straight up against FSU, and I know you do too.
I do too. I have Wake Forest picked as my underdog outright win of the week. Big fan of Sam Hartman, almost taking out Clemson last week. We'll see if Florida State is for real. I mean, Florida State is battle tested though. We remember LSU. We remember on the road against Louisville. So
that's all. Those are road games, you know. I mean,
so they've earned it. Florida State's earned it.
Yeah.
I'm just going with I'm siding with what I think is the better quarterback. That usually tells some of the story in college football.
It does. You know, in college football, you can't really you're not going to be a really good program unless you have a good quarterback. I think that we've seen that many times, particularly at my college, University of Tennessee. If you don't have a good, solid number one quarterback, you're not going to go very far, because they're the captain of the ship here, and Sam Hartman is definitely that.
Parker picks. Give me TCU over this overrated Oklahoma team, while the Horned Frogs get one step closer to winning this conference.
Wow.
He says bye-bye.
Bye-bye
to Oklahoma. That was our college picks. We're going to transition now into our NFL pick six. Hey, the NFL getting spicy. Let's take a pause. And the AFC South. The AFC South just stood up and told the AFC West to have a seat. I mean, literally. The Colts, of all teams, just pistol whipped the Chiefs.
Yep.
We had the Jags go to California and beat the Chargers.
Yeah, they did.
And we had the Titans standing up at home against the Raiders.
Yeah.
3-0 against the West.
Last week. I would have said that I would have been shocked to have heard that if we would have won like one or two of those games.
I would have been shocked if definitely two.
Yeah.
But all three? There's no way.
All three is
Jaguars don't win in California.
That tells you the parity, you know, this year. There's a lot of really interesting things happening around the league. I think there's personally an AFC South guy, and I know you as well. You're seeing the same thing. This AFC South is in just such a different place than it has been in the past, where we might be seeing some teams rise. We might be seeing some teams falling, and maybe falling for a while, but we'll see. We'll get into some of that.
The teams falling. Interesting storyline and choice of words, because one of them has to fall in the first matchup of the Tennessee Titans on the road at the Colts.
Yeah.
The home team is favored by the traditional 3.5.
Yep.
It's a Vrabel spot, man, when you put him as an underdog.
It is, you know, and like you just said, these are these games, the games that they come into that they feel like they're underdogs, that they're picked as underdogs, that they feel disrespected in some way. That you called it right. That's a Vrabel game right there. That is the game that he has his guys ready for. And I mean, it was the same thing that happened last week against the Raiders. I mean, they got their ass kicked up there in Buffalo. Vrabel came back and threw some helmets and busted some heads, I think. Changed some stuff up a little bit. Now we're going, but they won that game, though. It doesn't matter now. Now we're moving on to this game. I just think Indianapolis is not a very good team this year. I really do.
And it's not just because the Jags blanked them. It's just
I think that's just a symptom. I think that's a symptom. I don't think it's the cause there. I think it's a symptom. I think the Jags are much improved this year, but I think the Colts are much like they're. I don't want to say that they're worse, but they might be. Could this be the carousel of terrible quarterbacks that teams like Tennessee and Jacksonville had to go through for so many years? I think so. I think the Titans go up there, and I think they easily cover this 3.5.
I'm going to give you Parker's picks. Simple analysis on this one, boys. Two teams that know each other very well. Always give me the team catching the 3.5 points. Of course, he's taking the Titans. I'll take the points and the Titans. However, I will say Jonathan Taylor has a chance to have a special game here. He'll have to, because Matt Ryan is cooked. He said Matt Ryan's old.
Old
We've
man
all said
Ryan.
that he can't move.
Old man Ryan.
You know what I liked? I liked I like watching the quick passing game from the Titans last week, getting Derrick Henry involved in the passing game, and let some little guys try to tackle him.
Right. Well, I mean, I liked it, but we went away from it towards the end of the game. I don't like that. But that's a midweek show there that we'll talk about at some point. You know, we got to have a bigger sample size. We're only a few games in here. Maybe once we get a few games in, maybe we'll have some midweek games to debrief on some of this stuff.
I guess that's all three of us taking the points.
Yeah, I think so.
This is just like the Clemson game. I don't know if I want to pick a winner, but I will gladly take the Titans in 3.5.
Yeah.
The next game is all of a sudden looking like an interesting one when I had no reason to believe it would be. And Jacksonville Jaguars at the Philadelphia Eagles. If you like the home team, you're giving up 6.5 to 7 points. This is the homecoming. Doug Peterson. He has a statue outside of this building, Blake.
Yeah,
he and Nick Foles are forever cemented.
I don't think that you can ignore the fact that Jalen Hurts has definitely improved as a passer. I don't think that you can ignore that fact. Do I still think that they're the team that a lot of the Philadelphia folks think that they are? I don't know yet. Not so soon, not so quick. Because honestly, I think this Jacksonville team is much improved. I think they could go up there and really give them a scare. I don't know if they'll beat them, but I've got them covering the 6.5 points.
I'm just looking back at what a September.
Yeah.
I'm the Jags fan, and it completely surprised me in a good way.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't know what to expect with a grown adult at the head coach position running a real NFL offense.
And I'm looking at this one because of where the winds fell. I'm looking at this as just gravy, the icing on the top of the cake, because it's an NFC game.
Mm-hmm.
Both of their wins were in the AFC. They're 2-0 in the AFC, 1-0 in the AFC South.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Trevor Lawrence was the offensive player of the week.
Can you imagine if this was year 2 in the system?
The Jaguars had an offensive player of the week in the NFL since 2010 when David Garrard won one. But the Jaguars also have the NFL rookie of the month, and Devin Lloyd.
I know.
He's got over 6 pass breakups and 2 picks.
They're putting some stuff together down there in Jacksonville, and it's making things different in the AFC South. It's going to make the AFC South probably look worse than it really is, because we're going to beat up on each other. I think you're going to have the winner of this division might only be 8 and 9.
Well, I mean,
9 and 8.
That. Like, you don't have to win many probably to win the South. Let's see what Parker's got here. He's got a little paragraph. Parker says Trevor Lawrence lost every road game his rookie year, winning his first road game in his sophomore season in week 3. Guess who else did the exact same thing?
Oh, boy.
Peyton Manning.
Oh, wow.
And I'll take this a step further. It was Peyton Manning losing every single road game as a rookie, just like Trevor. It was week 3, just like Trevor Lawrence. And guess who his opponent was? The Chargers. How spooky is that? That is crazy.
Wow.
I mean, sign me up.
Yeah.
If that's what the Jaguars have there. Let's see. Parker says, first time Jags had won back-to-back games by more than 20 points since the year 2000. Philadelphia is averaging more yards in the first half than 8 other teams for the entire game. So Philly can put up them yards and points early. Jacksonville has played Wentz. He looked great during the game. They played the Colts without wide receivers and the linebacker, and they've played the Chargers with Herbert at 60%. I'll take Philadelphia minus 6.5. This is a prove your real game to the Jaguars. He's taking Philly at home.
Okay.
I just think that they keep it close.
Well, that's my thing. I'm not so sure they win the game, but I think they scare them. And they show them that I mean, look, if that Jaguars defense can put a little pressure on Hurts. I'm interested to see what happens.
I really want them to win the toss. I want them to not defer. I want you to be aggressive, take the ball, get a lead.
Yep.
Let's see if Hurts can play from behind.
Yeah. I mean, I think
it seems like he's a front runner here.
I do too. I mean, it's easy to sit back with those offensive weapons and just slowly pick somebody apart whenever you have all the time in the world. But you get a little pressure and you're behind. You're playing from behind, like you said.
You're pressing.
I mean, what if they go up 2 scores? I don't know. I don't know if he's made to be able to play from behind.
A little 14-0, and then all of a sudden.
Honestly, I think this is a prove it game for both teams. I really do. But I think Jacksonville, in my opinion, they don't have anything to lose here.
No.
So that's my opinion.
I'm taking the points in the Jags, but just like last week, I mean, I don't have any expectation of them winning.
Right.
Next one that we're going to talk about, Bills at Ravens. Bills coming off a hard-fought game.
Yep.
Against Miami. They're the road favorite. They're a 3-point favorite. Lamar Jackson playing out of his mind.
Yep.
He's accounted for almost every one of the Ravens' touchdowns, either throwing or running.
Yep. I think Lamar is playing with a chip on his shoulder. I think he I mean, they didn't get any kind of contract stuff worked out, did they?
No.
So, I mean, my thing is I think he is playing to shove, and he's playing to prove to people that he's worth what he wants. I'm not so sure that he wants to be in Baltimore anymore. So I think this is him showing out a little bit, maybe showcasing himself, what he might be able to do in certain types of offenses. I mean, he continues to impress as a passer as well. And the Buffaloes, like you said, they hard fought game against Miami that they ended up losing, right? Didn't they lose?
They lost.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen's throwing the ball into the dirt on a 4th down play at the end of the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like with Lamar playing the way he's playing, I'm going for not just the points. I'm going for the upset here.
I
think we're on team favorite.
It's one of those bad spots where you're doing back-to-back road games. You just played in Miami.
Yeah. Was it a Monday night game?
No, this one was on a Sunday.
It was on Sunday. Okay. Couldn't remember.
See what Parker,
I just had surgery, guys. Leave me alone.
We'll see what Parker thinks here. He says Buffalo just ran 90 plays in the Miami Heat.
Jeez.
Pun intended. He said, gentlemen, they are gassed. John Harbaugh as a home underdog covers 70% of the time. Out of the last 120 coaches in the NFL, he is 3rd most profitable coach as an underdog at home. Number 1 is the legend Mike Tomlin. He said give him the Ravens and the 3.5 points. I agree. Give me the Ravens and the 3.5. They may win straight up. And honestly, if it gets away, it may not even be close because the Ravens can do that to people. Yeah,
they can. I mean, they can get away from you in a hurry. And just traditionally, they tend to be tough on defense. I mean, Buffalo, we know, has a good defense. So we'll see.
All of us.
We'll see. I mean, there's some good games going on.
Here's another one. And it's still going to be played in Tampa. We're talking about the Chiefs and the Bucks. If you want the away team, another away team favorite here. Chiefs by 2. Parker's got, just a second, I'll pull it up here. Let's see what he says. Parker. Kansas City is overrated. Tom Brady is good. And coming off of a loss, and he's at home with this type of point spread, Tom Brady is 17-1 overall. I'm going with the GOAT and Tom Brady to win and cover this spread. It's fallen. I mean, when we were doing our prep, it was 2. The line is actually switched.
I was going to say, while y'all were talking,
it is switched.
Whenever I'll share this for everybody so they can see.
It went from Kansas City 2 to Tampa Bay 1.
Yeah, whenever I did my show prep right before I checked, this is why I don't do it until right before. DraftKings has got them at.
That's a 3-point swing.
And I'm going with the GOAT as well. I think that you can't bet against this guy. Don't get me wrong. The numbers don't lie here. It's going to be a heck of a game, I think. But ultimately, when the chips are down, I'm going with Tom Brady.
That'd be interesting. If the Buccaneers win, that means that the Chiefs have lost back-to-back games. They've lost.
Didn't Parker make a prediction that the Chiefs could potentially finish like really low? Like
It could be. I mean, you've got a legend in Andy Reid over there, though, and
Andy Reid can't throw the ball.
Andy Reid can't throw the ball. I'm going Chiefs. I just can't believe that they're going to lose 2 in a row. I mean, I can't believe they lost to the Colts.
Well, I mean, you got to look at this too, and I don't know how much of a factor it's going to really play, but it's something. Look at everything that's going on in that area in Tampa Bay. I mean, this is something that it'll exactly. It rallies a community. I'm sure that Tampa Bay is all over this. They're going to have, as many first responders and, people there. They may even let some people in free just to try to get some community outreach here, because right now folks down in the west coast of Florida really need something to hang on to. They really do.
Best bet time where we can bet whatever we want to. Parker wants to go with a prop bet. He's looking at the Jaguars game, and he says Philadelphia plays a zone defense that gives slot guys tons of room. I expect the Jacksonville Jaguars to be playing in a negative game script and having to pass the ball constantly. I'm thinking Christian Kirk doubles the receiving prop bet of over under 61 yards. Give him Christian Kirk over 61 yards receiving. This is his best bet.
All right.
I think he's done it every game this year. You got him on your fantasy.
Yeah. So my best bet. It's going to seem like I'm going with my household, which I kind of am, but at the same time, I'm going against one Carson Wentz. Dallas, -3. Easy. Cooper, my rush. This guy, hey, he might need to be careful here. Dak might need to be careful. He might have a challenge here. This guy can spin it a little bit. He's doing just fine.
I don't understand. We don't do our picks together.
We really don't.
I have Dallas -3 as my best bet. Yeah. I don't know, other than being week 1 and on the road, I don't know how my Jaguars lost to the Carson Wentz Commanders. That's the only thing standing in between them and a perfect season so far.
It just knocked the rust off of it. That's all it did. Carson
Wentz has got to be good for at least a pick or two. Fumble. Yeah. That offensive line.
Parsons is going to get up in that.
That offensive line just let Philly get 9 sacks.
That's what I'm saying. I think that
Lawrence is sacking people all over the place.
Exactly. I know. They're going to get after Carson Wentz here. So, I have a feeling that we could have some picks, and that spells curtains, in my opinion.
Yeah, we're both going Dallas in our best bets. In our underdog picks, Parker he's looking at the Arizona Cardinals on the road at Carolina. He says Cardinals, while you play Tomlin and Harbaugh at home while they're underdogs, Kingsbury, the coach of the Cardinals, is 7-1 while a road underdog. Kingsbury is only a better coach than 2 other coaches in the entire league. That's how low he thinks of Cliff. He says, but it just so happens that Matt Rule is one of them that's worse than Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, Zach Taylor is the other. He's taking the Cardinals. I've identified the Cardinals as my underdog to win. There's some question marks with Christian McCaffrey. I get the better quarterback by taking the Cardinals with Kyler Murray versus Baker. Oh, God. And now the line has shifted in this game.
A lot of these lines are literally shifting in
as
real
we
time.
Speak. This game is now moved to 1 point the other way. But by God, we've got to stick with it because we did these lines as of last night. I'm going Cardinals in the upset.
Yeah. So I'm going just below you here. I'm going to Denver and Las Vegas. And right now Vegas is favored by 2.5. And I think
that was higher.
I think if you're favored by 2.5 at home, you might not really be a favorite. So I'm going Denver. I don't know really if they're going to figure it out on the offensive side necessarily with Denver, but I kind of think that after the start that the Raiders have had, we might see the effort level start to be a little bit lower. I know they're professionals. I get it. But everybody knows what the numbers are with teams that start the way that they've started. So, I mean, it's not looking good for the Raiders. The Broncos win this game, they could really start to take off.
I think a lot of what this is public, and what the public sees. What the public saw was a Denver-San Francisco game that looked like a baseball score.
Yeah.
And then they know that between Carr and Adams, they've got offensive firepower.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I'm going to go with a team that has offensive firepower. And we've seen this spread go from 5 to 4.5 to 4 to 3.5. Now it's around 2.5 or 3.
Yeah.
There are some sharp people that spend lots of money in gambling that have brought this line down.
Yeah.
So it's I think you're on to something here with the Denver pick.
I think so too.
That's our show. That's all we got. Check us out. Skip around to your favorite parts.
Absolutely. Skip around to your favorite parts. Go ahead and leave down there in the comments what you think about our picks. Also, leave down there, make your comments down below what you think about this Tua situation in Miami. Was this something that you think is just a bad coincidence, bad luck, whatever? I don't want to accuse anybody of foul play here, but I mean, if you think that, go ahead and leave it in the comments down there. We'd love to hear from you and what you think about that, because it's a big deal. Everybody knows how big of a deal concussions are in the NFL. But guys, we really appreciate you joining us today on this Friday, year of our Lord, September 30th, 2022. That's our weekly show. But yeah, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Please hit that subscribe button. Please, please, please. We know a lot of you don't hit that subscribe button, but you hit the like button. Really appreciate you guys checking us out. Give us a rumble on Rumble as well. Check us out on all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at DDS Sportstalk. And you can catch the audio versions of all these podcasts on the go on your favorite podcasting platform. Newberry, final thoughts.
Parker's final thoughts are thoughts and prayers with everyone in Florida.
Absolutely.
My final thoughts are, everyone remember to wake up Green Day because September's ending.
Okay.
Wake me up.
Yeah.
When September ends.
I don't know.
It ends tonight.
I don't know if Jaguars won September to end.
Hey, you got to keep rolling one game at a time.
Hey, there are 2 Blues playing in Indianapolis, but as always, there's only one blue that matters, and that's the 2-tone blue. Always. You guys be well.